Welcome to another DevScope tutorial. Today we are going to talk about Microsoft Purview. We'll make a brief introduction about this tool and see why your company should be using it to be more competitive. So let's move on to this presentation and let's talk about why should your company be using Microsoft Purview. I will start with this sentence that says data is the new oil to talk about the importance that data have to companies. They have already noticed that they are really important and they put a big effort to get storage, treatment and explore all the information that they can get. As you have probably heard, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. So the next problem of having a lot of information is that a lot of times they are not used and people don't know where to find it. And this has a high cost of data acquisition and storage for the company. A lot of this data is lost and or cannot be found. And there's a lot of repeated information all over the company. Another problem that sometimes we have is that different concepts are being used and applied inside the company, and also risk of non-compliancy with data protection rules and laws for the company. Microsoft Purview is a unified data governance service developed by Microsoft that will help you to put together information coming from different places. On-premise, multi-cloud and SaaS will be gathered together in the same place and will help you to find the information that you need. I will make a brief resume of the features that this tool has. You have a data catalog where you can find all the data that you need inside all your company. You have a glossary term that will help you to get a better knowledge of what you mean with different terms. You have also an automatic classification of sensitive data that will help you to get all the information that is confident or very sensitive to all the company. The other thing or the other feature that is really good in Microsoft is that you have data experts that can be associated with an asset. For example, having someone that is expert in COVID related with a data set about that theme, and every time you need some information, with just a few clicks you can get in touch with that person. The other feature that Microsoft Purview has is data lineage. With data lineage, you can see where the data and information is coming from and all the transformation that suffer between your data lake and the final report. The other thing that is very useful inside Microsoft Purview is data owners. Do you remember the time that you spent looking for someone that could give you access to a data lake or to a database? Well, here in Purview you can associate someone with those data, and with just a single click and an email you can ask the person to get access to the information. There are three main steps in Microsoft Purview to get all your information together. The first one is data source registration, where you are going to connect this tool with different sources. The second one is to scan all the information that you have and put it in the same place. The third one is to enrich data, to put more knowledge together with this data and to be more useful to the final persons that are going to use Microsoft Purview. Before we move into Microsoft Purview tool, let me show to you the environment, the demo environment that I've prepared to show some of the case studies that we are going to see today. In this Git repository, and with just a simple click, you can deploy Microsoft Purview and different resources that can help you to explore this tool. So it's a simple way that you can have all the environment with lineage, with storage and everything connected and scanned. We will take you more or less 10 minutes to install everything, but you don't have to worry about anything because it will be fully automatically completed. So the Microsoft Purview user's profile can be different because inside of a company we have data scientists, data analysts, people from human resource that can use this tool in different ways. Today I prepared a few different case studies that will help us to understand why is this tool so useful. The first one is, for example, a BI developer that just arrived to a new company and he was in charge to make a COVID project on a private hospital. His goal is to identify useful information and make, for example, a report. So in this moment, I'm going to move to Microsoft Purview tool. And as you can see, this is the first page, the starting page of Microsoft Purview. Here you can see three different sections. The Browse Assets section, where you can explore all the information that you have in your Purview. Then the Glossary part, where you can add information to the tool, and also the Knowledge Center, where you can learn more about and have different tutorials about Microsoft Purview. So in this case we are looking for new information, so we are going to click in Browse Assets and see that we have two different ways of looking for this information. We can look by collection, and I will explain to you what are collections, and then also by source. In this case we are going to start looking for information by source. We can see that we have already this data factory information, data lake, SQL database, SQL server and storage account, and we can just click and see what we have available. For example, if we click here, we can go to this database. We can see that we have two different schemas, and if you can now see the different tables that are available. For example, if you click on this product table, you will also be able to get the schema, and here you can see all the columns that are in this SQL table. So when you go to this search toolbar, you can look straight for the name of a table, you can look for a name of a column, or just look for the information that is not specific for some data set and see what you have inside of your company. So in this case, because John is looking for COVID information, he only has to go here and look for COVID and see what is available inside his company. So, as I showed you before, you can look for information going to the source and see what is available. If you click here, you will see that you have this collection and source type division, and here on the left, if you cannot see it, you can just click here and we'll open this tab with different sections. If you click here, you have a map of all the sources that have been registered, and you can see that you have two different collections. This root collection will be connected with this sales collection and marketing collection. With collections inside Purview, you can give different access to different persons inside of your company. So salesperson can just access to this information, and marketing people will have access to this data lake. So like this, it's easier to see or to define who can see what with the collection permission. The other useful thing that can be used inside Purview is the lineage. So if we are here in the start page and look for example, country, you will see that you have information on an SQL table, this merge Parquet file, and these two that are on the data lake. And let's select this one and see what informations are being applied in this data lake file. So as you can see here, this queries by country information has a copy activity inside Azure Data Factory, and that we will put in this merge Parquet. If we click here in switch to asset, we will be able to see what are the information that are being used. So we have queries by country and queries by state that are being copied and merged in this Parquet file. This lineage is very useful because it will help you to understand where is this information coming from and how is being used. For example, if you delete a column, you can see right away the impact that will have in other data sets, SQL tables, or data lake files. The second case that I've selected is a data governance responsible. Someone, for example, from human resources, that his goal is to look for sensitive information for data privacy regulations, for example, GDPR in Europe. What he can do inside this Microsoft Purview tool, and let me switch again here, is look for some sensitive information like bank accounts, mobile phones, private data, and that sometimes companies, they don't even know that they have inside of the company, but then they can go just here and type for sensitive information like mobile phone and see what they have. The other way, here you can see that Purview made automatically classification about email address, person's name, US phone number. For example, if I click here, and we can see that this Azure SQL table has some information about this. I will click here and we will be able to see that this table has different sensitive information. For example, email address, person's name, and US phone number. So this is very useful when you don't know where are your sensitive information inside of your company, and will help you to locate and to see where it is very easily. The third case that we are going to see is someone like this, in this example, Caroline, that she is a data scientist. She knows a lot about machine learning, about Python, about SQL, but maybe she doesn't know a lot of the business terms that are used inside of your company. In this case, is an investment funds company, and she doesn't know what it is, like short-term investment, fixed interests, ETFs. So what she can do is go again to the Microsoft tool, and let's go to the first page. And here in home, you can see that you have glossary terms. So when you click here in glossary terms, you have different terms explained, and now everyone inside of the company can use the same terms for the same case or the same examples that are being used. So if you want to look for some subject, like, I don't know, calendar, collaborations. We have a lot of different examples here. Let's look for connection and see if we have anything. You see that the search that he starts to look for is being filtered. So about connect, we have this term like connected groups. We can click here and see what is the formal name, see the definition, and in this case we can see that we have no assets associated with this catalog, but we can associate these terms with, for example, a database, an SQL table, or everything that you have inside of Purview. The other nice thing is that you can put resources here, and with just a single click you can see, for example, information that can be associated with these glossary terms. So here you can have, for example, a definition of what you are seeing, but you can also have like SharePoint documents and different sites that will help to explain this glossary term. Before we finish this presentation, I would like to explain and to teach you how to register a source. This will probably be your first step in Microsoft Purview. So when you are here in the first page, you can go to your data map with the information that you have, and if you haven't scanned anything, this will be empty, and you can select here register and add a new data source. In this case, because we have already this information, I will use this collection, the sales collection, and I will register this source inside this collection. So we can click here in the register button, and now we can look for the type of the data source that we are going to make the scan. In this case, it's an SQL database. So when I write SQL, this will filter all the SQL information. We have Azure SQL database. You have to put here your subscription and the server name. In this case, we are going to use this one. You click register, and it's as simple as this. Your resource will be registered inside Microsoft Purview. This is the first step, to register the source. The second step will be to make a scan. And with a scan, you will have all the information available to be explored. So here in the second icon, you can click and see that you can make a new scan. You can write a name of a scan that will be easy for you to remember. I don't know, for example, I'll put first scan. And what we are going to do is to connect to the database, in this case this one, and then you can, for example, make a test connection. If your test connection is not successful made, you have to probably give some permissions in your SQL database. Here you have more details of how to do it. It's very simple, so just follow this information, this document, and you will be able to connect with your data source. So then you just click continue, and now you will be able to select only the tables that you want to make the scan. Here I will leave everything. I will click again continue, and this scan rule set is because you can choose what type of scan are you going to make, and you can view in details the different classification and system rules that are being used to scan. In this case, I will leave it just the default ones, and I will go to continue. And here you have to select if this scan is going to be like every week or every month. In this case, I will use just once because I just want to scan to run just one time. I will click continue. I will save and run, and the scan will start automatically. So today we have explored this Microsoft data governance tool, Microsoft Purview, and now it's up to you if you want to keep doing things like the old way with all the papers that you probably don't know where they are, or you can use a new tool that will be very useful and will be more easy to find information and everything that you need inside of your company with just a few clicks. So if you like this video, don't forget to push the like button, subscribe our channel, and I will see you next time.